What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Thursday, July 25th, 2024. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here, and I'm also a casino host, proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and also get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's coming on with me today, Chicago bred, which is something that I love because I got family in Chicago. That's where I was born as well. She is a creator, executive producer, and host of Bar Talk with Jenna. She has also been working with the White Sox. She's been a producer before, a news personality before. She also spent the year where I'm at in Marshall, Minnesota at Southwest Minnesota State University before going on to Chicago and DePaul and graduating with her degree. Her name is Jenna Duddleston, and we're going to get to know her about her why and why she does what she does, and also get to know her a little bit. So without any further ado, I introduce to you the talented, the beautiful Jenna Duddleston.
All right. Yay.
Hello there. How you doing, Jenna?
Good. Sorry, I don't know what was going on. Nothing apparently wanted to properly work for me today, so I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry at all. It is wonderful to see you. You look absolutely lovely today. Just want to let
Oh,
you know that.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely. How's your week going so far?
So far, so good. What's today? Wow, today's already Thursday. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, no, good week, just enjoying it as much as I can and trying to do work and do nothing at the same time, if that makes sense.
Well, if you figure that out in life, please give me like a tutorial of how you can do that. That'd be awesome. I would love that.
I'll have to once I kind of get it in writing, I'll send it over to you. How does that sound?
Please do, because I'll be patiently waiting. That's for sure. There's no question about that.
Will
I
do.
want to say thank you for hopping on
Yeah.
my podcast. I really do appreciate it. I want to reiterate to you before I get started why I wanted you on. So I know
Mhm.
that you are executive producer, creator, and host called Bar Talk with Jenna. I've watched a
Mhm.
couple episodes. They're very entertaining. And I definitely want you to talk about that eventually. I know you've
Mhm.
also worked with the White Sox. You've been a producer. You've also been working in the radio stations as well, pretty much. And I found out that you went where I'm at because I'm in Marshall, Minnesota. So you went to Southwest Minnesota State University, which is crazy because I'm literally 5 minutes from the school. So I thought that was pretty intriguing. Yeah, thought that was pretty intriguing when I wanted to reach out and talk to you because I'm a sports reporter here
Mhm.
in town, freelance now, but I did work for the Marshall Independent, which you're probably familiar with, spending a year here a while ago. So I want to get to know you, your journey, talk to you, break bread. I was also born in Chicago, so I know Chicago very well. So
Okay.
that's why I wanted to reach out and talk to you.
I cannot believe that you live by Marshall. That is just the wildest thing on the planet to me.
Right. It's
How
crazy,
did
right?
you
Like,
how did you end up there? Like from Chicago, if you don't mind me asking? Because
no.
not many people know of Marshall like at all. It's like this quiet little secret, I feel like.
Okay, so let me give some preferences. So I was born in Chicago. My mother and father was raised there and born and raised there. So I was born in Cook County Hospital in Chicago. So my dad's on the south side. My mother was on the west side of Chicago.
Mhm.
But I did move from there early on in my life. I moved to California, and then my mom relocated us from California, where I grew up, to Atlanta, Georgia. That's where I got my undergrad. So I got my
Okay.
undergrad in Atlanta, Georgia, and currently working on getting my master's.
Okay.
I had five publications that reached out to me that wanted me to do sports reporting. One of them was Marshall Independent. So I've never been to Minnesota ever in my life.
Oh my God.
They flew me out here and they put me up in a hotel. And I was like, okay, this is cool. Now, when I first got here, Jenna, I was like, this is the first city I've ever been to in my life where they did not have an airport. You had to like fly into a different state in
Yep.
order to come here to Marshall. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, that's different. Then when I get here, they say, let's tour the city. And it took like 20 minutes to tour
20
the city.
minutes. Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is really small because obviously, you know how big Chicago is. I
Yeah.
was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I grew up in San Diego. All those are big cities in those states. So to come to Marshall, it was definitely a little bit of a culture shock as far as population goes.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but the opportunities here, as far as covering sports, doing stories,
Mm-hmm.
doing different kind of articles, was endless because you always had teams that went to state championships,
Yeah.
section championships. Like they was enriched with that. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is something that I could see myself doing. So for the first 21 months, that's what I was doing. I started out in Atlanta, being able to do games and go to
Mm-hmm.
games and cover games at local publications. And I covered 4 different sports for those seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Then I came out here for my first full-time job, and I was covering it every single day. And I learned how to shoot, edit, write different kind of articles. It's my first time ever using a camera because typically in Atlanta, Georgia, they pay photographers to go
Oh,
to
yeah.
games.
Yeah. Because it's a bigger budget. So they have people that can do it for you. Yeah. And you got to
Right,
do it all yourself.
right. So here is where I kind of hone my skills, and not only just shooting, editing, um, and also page design. It was the first time I ever learned how to do page design and layout. So I learned a lot of skills, and that's what enticed me to come up here. Plus, I love going to new and different places. I love meeting
Mm-hmm.
new and different people, as you can obviously tell. That's why I reached out to you. I
Yeah.
love to be able to meet different people and hear their stories. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to learn. And it is, no question. It's small, and I'm definitely going to move up. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I thought this was a great place for me to make an impact. And now I got some really good friends here in Marshall.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
The people there are some of the best people I've ever met in my entire life were in that town. And some of them are still there. But yeah, no, that place has like a very, very special place in my heart and always will. Like I just love it so much.
Absolutely, no question, no doubt. And that's a great segue to this
Yeah.
actual first question that I have for you is, what is your why? Right? What is your why of doing what you do? Like, did you have any role models growing up? Did you have any inspirations in your life? Like, what led you or what made you want to have a career in media?
Oh, that's a great question. I think part of my I think I'll say this. What led me to want to do this is I really believe that everyone has a story on how they got to where they got to.
Sure.
And I
Yeah.
think it's very easy for us to look at people and make assumptions. But I knew that, at least within myself, like there was a reason why I did everything that I did,
Right.
and it was always deeper and it was always more layered. And so I wanted to get to know that about people. And I think part of my why is like I really believe that we have more in common with each other than we have different.
Yep.
And I wanted to be able to like bridge those connections to people because again, I think it's easy to look at the differences. I think it's easy to look at like you're a man, I'm a woman, you're black, I'm white. It's easy to
Right.
say like they don't have anything in common. But I
Right.
think I found through everything I did and through my own experiences that if you take the time to like really get to know someone internally, um, you have so much more in common. And I just felt like we're in a time where we are craving like genuine connectivity and honesty, and things are so easily divisive and don't listen to this or this is wrong or you're not supposed to like this person. And I don't believe that. Like I really I like to believe that I see people for who they are and wanting to connect with people on a deeper level. So I think that's part of my why. My why is really we have more in common with each other than we have different, and taking the time to figure that out with each person that you meet.
Absolutely. That's exactly how I live my life, Jenna. No question about it. No fake kind of shit or anything like that. I don't believe in that kind of stuff. I feel like everybody that you can talk to in life, you can at least find one thing that you have in
Mhm.
common. Now you can build
Yeah.
off that conversation, and it could be a great conversation or the conversation can go nowhere. But at least everybody in life, you can find one thing. And that's what I love to do. That's also my why is why I
Mhm.
love this industry is that the high schoolers, college, the kids that I cover, although there may be a age gap between us of about 15 plus years, you still can find commonness with that. You still
Mhm.
can talk to them, mentorship, or anybody else in the world. So I love doing that. And I love your why. This is a question I ask everybody as well, and that's their college choice. Now, I got
Mhm.
to know, how did you find out about Southwest Minnesota State University and being that Mustang for a year before you
Yeah.
went off to DePaul? Because before I get your answer on that, I was going to go to DePaul if I didn't chose Kennesaw State University because I thought they had a great journalism program. But
Mhm.
money wise, because they're not a state school and because I
Right.
was out of town at that time, that's kind of the decision that why I didn't go there. Talk to me about SMSU and then your transition to DePaul, and were there any other schools that you were considering?
Yeah, I think one thing to add to your question too is that so my freshman year I went to school down in Miami Shores, Florida. I went
Ooh,
to a school called Barry University.
okay.
So I was a college athlete, and you kind of go where the money is. And
Mm,
so I got, like a full ride down there, and I always knew I wanted to leave home. Like I was like, I just had big wings, and I was like, I gotta go. Like I need to go. I want to see the world, and I love
sure.
Chicago, and I knew Chicago was always going to be my home, but I knew the importance of like I need to leave. So when I got the offer down in Miami, I was like, it's Miami, like you got to do it. Like just like when are you ever going to have this opportunity to do this again?
Right.
And then Miami's a very long story, and we don't gotta get into that now because that could be a whole podcast in itself. But
Okay.
it didn't work out in the best way possible. Like it sucked, but it was for the better. And I had gone back to my club volleyball program and was like, hey, like I told him the situation. I got to find a new school to go to. And I think I had gotten like two or three emails from Southwest
Mhm.
about them needing a setter. I was a setter. And I was like, oh, I don't want to go to Minnesota. Like I didn't want to go. Like, and that was the funny part. And then I talked to the coach on the phone, Terry Colhane. He just
Yep.
retired a few years ago. Love
Hmm.
Terry. That's my guy. And
Hmm.
we ended up talking for like over an hour on the phone about, you know, my situation, what happened, what like so we had a lot of conversations. And then I took the trip there. He flew me from Miami, flew my parents in from Chicago for all of us to go and visit. And I felt like such a unicorn, like like walking into that place. And not like I'm the most special thing in the world, but like I just felt so out of place, I guess is the best
Right.
way to say it, because
Sure.
I was this like city chick who was coming from Miami, who was considering a school with a population of 14,000 people. Like it just like
Right.
the math wasn't mathing. And so when I got to Marshall, there were a lot of things I liked. One of them being like I wanted to win a national championship. Like I am a competitor in my core. I want to win, and I knew that I could do it with those women and that team and that program. Um, and the other thing, and you and I had kind of talked about this before we got going, is I needed to be surrounded by really good people in my life.
Sure.
And that was, I really feel like God put me in Minnesota, in Marshall, to be reminded that there were still good people in the world, because I didn't believe it. And the people there just like were healing to my soul and to me in a way that I never could. I don't know if I'll ever be able to fully express. And then, I ended up transferring after the end of that year. It was a really hard decision to leave, but
Sure.
I had injured myself. My
Mhm.
freshman year of college, I had tore my wrists apart. So I was a setter. It was my dominant hand. And I just had a lot of relapses. And I think there is this hard truth when you're an athlete where you have to look in the mirror and say like, hey, I think you're done.
Right. It's
And
time. Right.
and part of that, part of the reason why I was okay with, I think, hanging up my shoes was I knew my next chapter. I knew what I wanted to do, which is, kind of what we're talking about now. Like I love storytelling. I was able to do some storytelling out in Minnesota that really kind of opened my eyes to it, and the television and the radio and the writing. And I was able to do a lot there in a short period of time. And then there was just this switch that clicked off of me that said, Jenny, you live in the third largest city in the United States of America. DePaul has a great journalism program. Go home
They
and do
do.
it. Go home and do it. And so it was really difficult to leave. Like I didn't want to. Like I wanted to, but I didn't want to. I think if Marshall was like 8 hours closer, I probably would have stayed.
Sure.
It was a tough commute, and I was really homesick. But so yeah, I finished at DePaul and got my undergrad in journalism. And the beauty about DePaul and their journalism program is because you're in the city, you really get access to a lot of
Mhm.
opportunities and programs that like most people don't get, and you end up building much more genuine relationships with people in the industry than you do anywhere else, is what I found.
Oh, no question. They swept me off my feet when I gave them a
Yeah.
call, because I still have family out there.
Mm-hmm.
My aunts, my uncles, and cousins, they still live out there. So I ended up choosing Kennesaw State because I was in Atlanta. But DePaul really, really swept me off my feet. Their
Yeah.
program, just what they did as far as what they cover, as far as the classes they had, it was just everything that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge um, Chicago sports lover. There's
Yeah.
not a sport in Chicago that I don't love to attend and go to professionally. So, yeah, that's definitely was something that was high up on my list for sure. Now, I want to ask you some favorite questions, Jenna. Okay. So
Okay.
you give me the 411 based upon these questions. Are you with me?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's rock with it. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Ooh, I love making a good pasta dish.
Oh, okay. All right. All
Yeah.
right. Now, I'm a chicken Alfredo type of dude, but I'm also a ziti type of dude. What would you
Okay.
be?
I really like fettuccine or orzo.
Ooh,
And honestly, it's kind of just like whatever's in the fridge. So I really like getting creative. Like, and it's a fun way to do it. Like I like shrimp, I like seafood, but I'll make just about any pasta dish. I've kind of perfected this one with scallops that is like probably
mm,
my all-time favorite pasta dish, where like
okay.
people are like, hey, I'm coming over, can you make that pasta dish? I'm like,
Okay.
sure.
All right. Now, I know. Next time I'm in Chicago, I may have to pull up, Jenna. I may have to.
Okay.
I'm just,
Okay.
I'm just saying.
It's really good. I'm not gonna lie. It's a really good dish.
That's what's up. Okay. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Ooh, oh, that's so hard. I've been to so many good ones. Okay, I gotta give you like a top four. Can I give a
Okay.
top four? Okay.
Sure. Sure.
Darius Rucker. Darius
Mm,
Rucker puts on a party, an
he does.
absolute party. Um, Coldplay.
Oh, yes. Coldplay is tremendous. Got a chance to actually see them in Soldier Field.
Me
Uh,
too. I saw
okay.
them when they were here at Soldier Field, and it like
Got,
changed my life.
got,
Um, I went to see Drake, and I like shockingly loved that. I was like, not I got a free ticket, was not
hmm.
expecting to, not that I didn't like Drake, but I was like surprised at how good of a show he puts on.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
That's cool.
and then I'd say my probably, oh, this is so hard because I'm missing so many good ones. I got to see Russell Dickerson at a small venue.
Okay.
And there's something about like seeing an artist perform when they're like on that, when
On
they're
the cut.
like they're on, when they're just there,
Yep.
and there's this awe in their eyes of like everyone singing back to them. And I think it was his album Blue to, was it Blue Tacoma? I think was the album. And I was like, I had like a body high, and I was like, this is the greatest day of my life. Um, he was he was great. But I've got to see so many people. Like Luke Combs is awesome. I've seen
Yep.
Zach Bryant a few times. He's unbelievable. Oh my God, yeah. But I'd say those are probably my top. Darius Rucker, though, if you ever get to see him, puts on a fucking show. Like, oh my God, he's unbelievable.
Have
Unbelievable.
not seen him solo. Saw him with Hootie and the Blowfish, which was his band.
See him when he comes solo because he does a mix of his stuff and
Mhm,
Hootie stuff and
mhm.
some hip hop and R&B, and it's the best. It's the freaking best.
You know, the one concert that I did get a chance to see because I also in Atlanta, I used to do security, used to do event security. So I used to be
Mm-hmm.
by the stage a lot and stuff like that. But the one concert that really blew my mind that was different was Eric Church. Eric
Oh,
Church's
he's
concert
great.
was, and I'm not a huge country person. Don't get me wrong. I'm just that, this is not my genre, but there is
Mm-hmm.
some country artists that I really like. Luke Combs, Morgan
Mm-hmm.
Wallen,
Mm-hmm.
Luke Bryan, Zach Brown Band. Those are the artists that I really listen to. But Eric Church, when he brought that whiskey on stage and he gets to singing and doing his thing, he puts on a damn show. I was like,
Yeah, he
wow, this is
does.
good. And I didn't know one song of his. I didn't know any song, but the music was pretty good. I thought it was pretty
Yeah,
good. So, yeah,
good.
I like that. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Hmm. Favorite place I would say Edinburgh, Scotland.
Wow. Now, was that a family trip, a girls trip, friends trip? What was that?
Me and my cousins and a few of our like friends, we before the pandemic, we used to do like a big kind of European trip. Every year we did them for like 6 years, and then we just kind of stopped after the pandemic. But we
Sure.
did London and Scotland, and Scotland just felt like home. It was the coolest. Like go when it's fall and it's the crisp fall. I don't know. Like the people are they were just awesome. Like I just loved. I was like I could live here. Like I don't want to go home. I love it here so much that I want to stay in Edinburgh
Like
forever. It
that.
was
Okay.
phenomenal. Yeah,
I'm putting that on the bucket list for sure. No question about that.
put it on the list.
Um,
Yeah.
Cabo San Lucas would be for me. No
Okay.
question. Love Mexico. Love it. Man, when it comes to that scenery, the
Yeah.
water, the beach, that's me. I love that.
Hmm.
I don't mind getting a tan. I'm already tan myself, so I'm good. That scenery is perfect out there. I love good weather for sure.
Good.
Two more for the favorites. This is a
Okay.
two-part question though.
Okay.
Favorite sport you like to watch on TV?
Hmm.
Favorites you like to attend in person? Can be the same sport.
Um, Favorite sport I like to watch on TV would probably be football and volleyball, any
Okay.
indoor or outdoor. And then favorite sport I like to attend would probably be baseball. There's something about a baseball game in person where it just feels like excitement, but also hanging out in like your favorite aunt's backyard at the same time too.
Sure. Sure. Okay. So I gotta ask. I ask all Chicagoans this: White Sox or Cubs? South Side. Okay,
I am
repping
a
South
I am
Side.
a I am a South Sider through and through. I went to my first game at Wrigley last year at 30
Okay,
years old. So
that's okay.
that
That's
that
awesome.
that'll that should tell you everything you need to know about me.
Well, so I am coming out there next week because of the NABJ conference. I'm not sure if you know what the NABJ
Hmm.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're actually having a conference, and the conference is on Michigan Ave at the Hilton. So I will be out there next week, and next Tuesday I'm actually looking
Nice.
to the White Sox game. So I'm looking into it. I haven't got any tickets yet, but they're playing the Royals, so I think that's going to be a pretty good game. So we'll have to see. We'll
For
have to
the
see.
yeah, it'll be a good game for the Royals. You know, they're pretty fun to watch. I don't know
They
about
are
us,
pretty
but
good.
the Royals are fun to watch. Things I never
Well,
thought I'd say in my existence, but here we are.
right? Tell me about that, right? They haven't been good since what, George Brett? And that's way back when. That's a little bit
Yeah.
before my time. So they haven't or no, actually
No,
no,
they
sorry.
had a stint in like what the
About 10 years ago.
early
10
like
years
yeah,
ago.
I was gonna say like 2010, 2011, somewhere around that time. I thought. Yeah, didn't they? I don't know if they won,
They
but
won the
I
World
remember them
Series.
making it. They did. Okay, yeah, I was like, they made it far, right? Didn't they win? Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
oh, I can't remember I can see the first baseman's face in my brain. I can't think of his name
Eric
though.
Hosmer.
Yes. And then he got traded to
The
the
Padres.
Padres. Yep.
Which is really I'm a huge Chicago sports fan, but the Padres are probably my number one heart because I grew up watching them. I grew up watching Tony Gwynn, Ken
Yeah.
Caminiti, Steve Finley, Trevor Hoffman. I grew up watching those guys going to the stadium. But I've been to Wrigley. The reason why I'm so intrigued to go to the White Sox game, I've never been to their park, so I'm trying to cross off ballparks that I've attended. So yeah, no doubt,
Nice.
I will be there next week.
Beautiful.
Last question. Favorite restaurant you like to attend?
God, that's so hard.
It is.
That's
It
so
is.
hard. And I'm spoiled. Like I worked in restaurants for like a decade. Like I call working in restaurants my like accidental career. So I got exposed to a lot of really good food at a very early age and I have a very spoiled palate. Um, oh God, that's so hard.
Do they still have Unos out there? Unos?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm a huge deep dish person. I love deep dish pizza, so I'm huge on that.
I Oh God. There's oof. Oh my God, I can't pick. There's so many. Like I love, I'll give it I love Tufano's. Tufano's is this little place. Um, it's technically like it's Taylor Street area, University Village. But it's like super old school, like mom, pa ran. Like those are kind of my favorite places to go to. Like
Yep.
when the like shit's good when the menu's written on a chalkboard on the wall and you don't
Without
get a
question.
menu without like that's when shit's good.
Yep.
So I do love that place. I love Bub City. Bub City is like one of my favorite places to bring people
Hmm.
to.
Okay.
It's like a
I don't think I'll put that.
country music, like barbecue joint in downtown. Um,
Hmm.
but then I was gonna say then there's this place by me like Franco's, which is another Italian family owned, like really
I'm
good
with you on that.
place.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a lot of nice little hidden gems, but those are my like sit down favorite restaurants. I can give a whole tour on my favorite grab and go, but
I
again,
feel it.
there's a lot. Chicago, as a Chicagoan, we are very spoiled with our food. We have an amazing food scene. It's the best.
Well, I'm definitely gonna have to hit you up on them restaurants, especially the second one you just said about that. You said
Bub
Franco?
City.
Buff
Oh,
City. Sorry, Buff City.
Franco's. Yeah, Franco's,
Franco.
and
Yeah.
it's by Sox Park too. So,
Ooh, okay. All
hmm
right. No doubt. I like that. Let's
hmm
talk about Bar Talk with Jenna because I want to be
hmm
able to hear the origins of how you came up with that. I want to be able to ask you also kind of a two-part question, how you came up with the Bar Talk with Jenna, but also from your previous jobs, what have you learned from them that you apply now to your podcast?
uh, I'll start with question number two, and the answer is everything.
Okay. Okay.
I am a big believer in nothing you do is random or a coincidence. Like I don't believe in coincidences. And I think every job opportunity thing that you have is laying down the foundation to propel you to where you need to go in life. So I had done a lot of like small gigs, like a lot of freelance work before I started doing Bar Talk.
Sure.
And no, and it's so funny because I remember being like, why am I doing this? And looking back, I'm like, oh, that's why. Like
Mhm.
it all made sense. But where Bar Talk kind of originated from is it was actually so the idea came when I had my very first internship when I was
Okay.
a junior in college at DePaul.
Okay.
So I was interning at Campus Insiders, which is now Stadium. And it was like the very beginning of the digital era, which sounds crazy. It was 2013, 2014. So no one
Wow.
really knew like what this was yet. Like no one knew how to create for the internet, you know?
Sure.
And
Sure.
so that's kind of what they were doing. And I remember being like, oh my God, like all of my friends are going to make fun of me because they all have like TV and radio internships. And I'm at this like digital place, like little, like, but it all worked out. Anyways,
Mhm.
I get there and it's the day after the very first ever college national championship football game. So the entire staff is not there. So they had brought me in on a day that I was not supposed to be there, clearly, because everyone was flying home the night before from, I think it was Atlanta, maybe the first game or something like that. Doesn't remember, or it doesn't matter. So anyways, I get there and some guy takes me in and lets me kind of just shadow him for the day. There's nothing for me to do, Chris, nothing. And so we had started talking and he's asking questions about like, we're basically trying to create something and we want to be different, but we don't want to be ESPN was his whole thing.
Right.
And I had gone in the studio earlier that day and in my head, I said, well, it looks exactly like ESPN. It looks just like ESPN, but I'm not saying this is my first day. Like I'm not saying that.
You keeping that to yourself.
I'm keeping that to myself. And then something inside of me literally just clicked. And I said, ooh, Bar Talk with Jenna. Oh, that's a great name. Don't tell anyone. So I didn't tell anyone about it for 7 years. I sat on it for 7 years.
Wow.
And I liked the name. I had an idea of the concept, but didn't really know how to like bring it to fruition. I didn't have the tools yet. I didn't have the knowledge or the experience to be able to, create this thing that I wanted to create.
Right.
And I turned 27, and so fast forward now, it's about 6 years later. I turned 27, and there's something really weird about your 27th birthday, like going from 26 to 27, because you're not in your mid 20s, you're not quite 30, but you've lived just enough of life that you get to ask yourself, what the fuck am I doing?
Sure.
And I had that moment of, I had been working in restaurants, I had been doing some freelance stuff, but I wasn't really doing what I wanted to do.
Sure.
And I finally said to myself, Jenna, I'm so sick of hearing you talk about this. You are a broken record. Shit or get off the pot. Like, do something about it or don't talk about it anymore.
I like that.
And so I had started doing all the prep work. In January, I basically was like, okay, the goal date is to launch it opening day for White Sox. So like April. So I had 3-ish months. And so I had done the headshots. I had worked on the logo. I had the outline. I was doing all of the things, right? And then this lovely, lovely little thing called the coronavirus and a global pandemic happened. And I remember knowing I was going to lose my job. I was like, I'm going to lose my job. I have no income. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. Like, you panic. I didn't have
as a lot of people did.
As a lot of people did. I didn't have like a huge savings, cushion. And I gave myself one day. I said, you have one day to be sad. Cry, scream, yell, ask God why. I need you to like go through all of the emotions and feel everything you need to feel. But like, you need to go through the storm. Get it out of your system. So I did it. I gave myself one day to have a pity party. And I had the pity party, me and my tiny ass violin. And then I woke up the next day and I said, okay, Jen, what do you want to do? Like, what do you like? You need to find a reason to get out of bed every day, because I know myself. I know I'll stay up until 4. I'll sleep until 2. I'll watch Netflix all night. I won't be productive. I will be my own worst enemy. And I said to myself, I said, I want to bartend. That's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to bartend. And I said, okay, well, how can I bartend when I'm not with people? And it felt like God, again, like I could feel God talking to me, and he was like, hey, remember that thing you wanted to start? Well, it wasn't the way, this isn't how you thought it was going to look, but maybe this is how it's supposed to look. So I had my bar, I had my phone, and that was it. And so I set my phone up and I called a friend of mine. I was like, hey, I have this idea. Will you just go with me? And she was like, what do you want me to do? And I was like, I just need you to go with me here, please. She's like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, not a problem. So we basically did an Instagram live show, and the reasoning for it was I wanted to get my community of people to still feel like we were together, even though we weren't, because I knew how sad I was and I wanted them to feel a sense of community in that time. And so we did just that. And it was crazy because like my first show did well. Like I thought maybe like 3 people were going to tune in, like my mom and my roommates, and that was it. Like I didn't think people were going to show up. And there was like over 200 people that like tuned in live. And I was like, and again, like I know that number may not seem like a lot in like the social world, but like when it's your first time doing something like that, you're like, oh wow, that's like a shit ton of people. Like holy fuck. And then it just kind of snowballed into people being like, okay, well, I'll come on tomorrow. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, well, then I'll come on tomorrow. And I knew I was onto something when about a week in, I have a family friend who is he's like a producer on the show Chicago PD.
Okay.
And so I had asked him, I was like, hey, I really want you on the show. And he's like, listen, I have a guy who owes me a favor. How about I have him on the show for you instead? And I was like, okay. And it was Leroyce Hawkins, who's one of the stars of the show.
Yeah.
And Leroyce not only came on the show, we did a live for like an hour and 20 minutes. And we had over 20,000 people tune in.
Wow. 20,000.
So 20,000 people tune in. And once the live ended, my phone blew up. Like I got in a matter of seconds, probably 30 text messages from family and friends who tuned in. The guy who set it up called me like 5 minutes later and was like, oh my God, I just talked to Leroyce. And he said that was hands down one of his favorite interviews that he's ever done in his life. Like you did that. And so there was this sense of like, oh my God, I think like this is working. Like, cause you don't know, right? Like you don't know if it's going to work. You could have an idea, but the people could not receive it well. And so it was working. And it was like, okay, let's just keep doing it. Like it was kind of like, keep working on that muscle, keep flexing that muscle, keep building that muscle of how do you ask questions, the timing, your voice, your cadence, the everything of it. Like I did everything. And so it just worked. And I did 40 shows in less than 10 weeks, which is insane to think
That's
about.
A lot of shows.
It's a lot of shows. And it was, I always say like that part of Bar Talk was like phase 1. Phase 1 was like, do people give a fuck? Because and because if they didn't, I wasn't gonna keep doing it, but they did and they liked it. So I was like, dude, we have to. So now it was like, okay, now let's create this in a more sustainable fashion. And then it turned into an actual podcast with audio and video and editing and clips. And because, and again, mind you, I'm still not working at this time. So I do not have the luxury of hiring an editor, a producer, someone to help me. I don't have that luxury. So I had to do and figure everything out on my own. Because I was like, and so it was, and I was able to do that, Chris, because of all of the previous jobs I had beforehand. Like, I had done television, I had done digital, I had hosted, I did radio, I had done social media for people. I knew how to ask questions. I knew how to have sit down interviews. So it was all of the bricks, all of the foundation was laid up for me to finally be like, okay, you can do it now, do it. And so, you know, it really, I think the beauty of Bar Talk and what I love about it so much is it started as a reason for me to get out of bed, like wholeheartedly. And the love that it's given to other people has made me just so unbelievably happy. I just like can't even begin to like explain it.
No, absolutely. And I love that story. I really do. I love your transparency. Thank you for being that with me. Obviously I want to support it. If I could ever be on Bar Talk, that would be amazing too. Just to throw my name out there, because what you guys talk about is great. And I love that. And I love just how that story came about, right? Because man, you literally was like, yo, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a
Yeah.
pity party for a day, but then you made it happen, right? It
Mm-hmm.
seems like sometimes, Jenna, when we get older, and correct me if I'm wrong, but for me, as I got older, now that I'm, in my 30s, uh, life slows down. It slows down when you
Mm-hmm.
get a little bit older. You start thinking about things a little bit more, your moves and what you make as far as
Mm-hmm.
doing things, people that you're around, choices that you make occupational wise, health wise, family wise. It just slows down to the point where it's like, okay, I know I can't do this no more. Like I can't do
Yeah.
this with you. I can't do that with you. The discipline is heightened a little bit more. Would you say that? Like, would you say as you gotten older that, at least for me, life has definitely slowed down for me? What would you say as you've gotten older now, out of your 20s? The 20s, I was on the go. Now that I'm
Yeah.
in my 30s, I'm a little bit more slowed down.
Um, to get really like deep, I think as I've gotten older and I've done the work on myself and I've like gone through some shit, um,
Yeah,
I've learned to love myself more.
cool. I'm with that.
And I think part of when you love yourself and you know yourself, like I think it's like one of the things in the Bible. Like I'm not a big like read the Bible person, but there is, one of the things is like the greatest gift is like to know thyself. And I think when you know yourself, everything just kind of, I think everything else just flows a little bit easier. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think in me knowing myself,
Mm.
I've you just realize where you want to put your energy and where it just doesn't matter anymore.
Without
And
question.
and and I think like we've all done it, right? Like we've all done the things where you do this to impress someone or you do this because you feel like it's going to make something be better within you.
Hmm.
Um and then you just wake and again, a part of it stemmed from the pandemic and like losing what felt like everything to me. Like
Right.
you get stripped away from an income and then you have to realize like do you have enough, is what you have enough, like what was I actually spending my money on, like was it of value, was it of substance. And I think as I've just gotten older I've realized what truly matters to me and also just like where I want to put my energy to because like we're just not promised anything in this life. We're not promised tomorrow. And
Hmm.
you know you're not given time and you have to be really, I think, cautious with your time. And it has to be something that like you enjoy doing, you appreciate it, or like it's filling your cup up. And if it's not doing any of those things, like I just don't got time for that shit anymore, man.
No, not at all. And I 1000% agree with that. And this is a great segue to this next question, which is about mental health and
Yeah.
work life balance. If anybody knows that follows you on social media, you are a very outgoing person, but obviously, I certainly wouldn't mind being around with you and hanging out with you at all because I think you would be a blast. But I also know that every A side, there's a B side, right? The A
Mm-hmm.
side is the storytelling part, the bar talk with Jenna, the labs, talking about sports, meeting all kind of wonderful people, doing what we do as an occupation and getting paid to do it, right? We
Yeah.
waking up to doing a job that you don't hate to do, which is a
Yeah.
blessing. People need to look at that as a blessing because there's many people out here that wake up to jobs that have all
They don't
different kind of
like
reasons
them.
why they got to do it, and they don't probably like to do it. But there's a
Yeah.
B side as well. And the B side is that sometimes you work with different companies that affect your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you work long hours.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you get unorthodox times when you're free, when the rest of your friends are not. Talk to me. How do you keep your mental health strong and also have that work life balance? I'll be transparent with you. I still have not figured out that work life balance in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I really haven't. It's an ongoing process with me. But talk about
Yeah.
yourself.
Um, it's hard. I will say this. I think one of the things that I've gotten pretty good at is listening to what my body needs. And I think that's something that we glorify the grind. We glorify the like, if you're not working hard, you're not getting to where you need to get to.
Right.
I
Right.
am in a season of my life right now where I know I need to rest. I need to rest right now.
Mhm.
And what is not talked about in the rest season of your life is it looks like you're doing nothing. It looks like you're being lazy. It looks like you're being unproductive.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think about seasons, like we all need a winter. We need to hibernate. If every day was fucking spring and summer, it's actually not good for the plants. It's not good for the trees. The trees need to shed the leaves. And I am in a season right now where I'm shedding the leaves and
I
I am
love it.
hibernating.
I love
So
it.
I say all of that because I used to ignore what my body needed for a really long time until I
Mm-hmm.
just snapped. Until I was like, all right, I'm going to sleep for like a week straight. No one talked to me. It's not productive. It's also not
Mm-hmm.
good. I
No.
think one of the things that I'm learning about me now, um, in order for like I have to start my day with like three things. And it's, because I know I'm gonna give myself to others. So I want to make sure that I'm giving to myself first before I give to others. I
Sure.
can't give myself to others if I'm not filling my cup first.
Mm-hmm.
So my big three are working out, meditating, and journaling. And I'll be real, like today, like I didn't get to journal, which is fine, but I did my morning workout and I got to do my morning meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an hour and 15 minutes just for me.
Yeah.
That's my time. And I think that's something that's helped me a lot is like making sure that I'm filling myself up. And making sure that I'm doing for me what I need, but also realizing like some days I just need to rest and I just need to sit down. And you don't have to be, you know, doing fucking 40 bar talk episodes in 10 weeks anymore. Like it like when those seasons of your life happen, like yeah, do the work and bust it out. But I
Sure.
think for each person, like I think everyone's answer is different.
Yeah.
But you have to ask yourself, like, what is it that is going to be the best thing for you? And like for me, like working out is like medicine. Like it's my time to like clear my head, be in tune with my breathing, get my body moving. Um, and I need that. Like I need that for myself. I also have to get in tune with myself, which means getting my mind quiet, which means meditating, which means
Okay.
again focusing on my breathing. And then one of the things I love about journaling, and I'll go through a phase where like I'll write like twice a day or every day, and then I'll be like, oh, I don't got nothing to say today, and that's okay. Like I don't sometimes again you don't need to have something to say every day.
Absolutely.
But I think that's helped me. And the other thing I'll say too, which is I think really important for your mental health, like I think this was the key when I started doing bar talk. Um, I forced myself to write down one thing a day I was grateful for,
Okay.
one piece of gratitude, because again, I know thyself. And I said, Jenna, I know you're gonna say like I have nothing, but that's not true. I have a lot. And what
Absolutely.
you put your energy on multiplies. So if you're focusing on the negative will multiply. If you focus
Yep.
on the positive will multiply. So it would be as simple as, cup of coffee, my bed, a roof over my head, hot running water, um, you know, two roommates that drive me fucking crazy, but I have company right now when I don't have to be alone.
Sure.
Um, Working out,
Sure.
having a conversation with a friend, like small things. And what I had found is those small things ended up becoming the big things because I realized like, wow, I have so much to be grateful for today. Like I have so much. And like, today, like my gratitude's gonna be like you taking the time out of your day to want to talk to me. Like you didn't have to do that. Like, but like you choosing to be like, no, I want to sit down and talk to Jenna. Like you're giving me your time. Like you don't have to give me your time. Like, but that's like I'm very grateful that you are like, yeah, I want to sit down and talk to Jenna today. Like that's amazing. Like, so
Appreciate it.
so but I think that's also part of what's kept me good within me is that. But mental health is such a, like I think if there's one thing I've learned, like there is not a one size fits all, like by no
Right.
means. I think you have to do what's best for you, and in doing what's best for you also means you have to be honest with you. And on the days when you're not okay, like just say I'm
I'm
not
not okay.
okay. And you
Right.
don't have to give anyone an explanation. It could just be a shit fucking day. Chris,
Right.
I had a shit fucking day 2 Saturdays ago. Two Saturdays
Okay.
ago. Oh my God. I just was like, oh, it was just not a good day. Like
You was
I
over
wanted
it.
it to be. I was so over it.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was like not funny, but I think even just giving myself the space and the permission to be like, yeah, it's not good today
Right.
was enough. I didn't need to explain it. It was just like, today's not the day. Today's not
Yep.
like, I'm happy to have oxygen in my lungs, but like today kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah. No
And that's
question.
okay. And that's okay.
Listen, we have what 365, 366 days in a leap year. Every day
Yep.
is not going to be a damn good day. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just reality, right? But I love the fact that you're humble enough to say, okay, you know what? Let's show gratitude. You know what?
Yep.
Let's look at the positive. Let's try to stay as optimistic as we possibly can because we know pessimistic shit is going to happen. It's going to
Always
happen,
does.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Always does. So we can't avoid that. There's no avoiding that. But my personality, and it seems like your personality seems to fit pretty well with mine, is that we're always going to look at the grass as greener, despite what
Mm-hmm.
things are going on. For me, I thrive in being uncomfortable being comfortable or being comfortable being uncomfortable is what I like to say. And I look for those kind of people in my life because people like that know that they go through hurdles, but they also don't crack under pressure. Like they deal with it, right? You have to be
Mm-hmm.
able to deal with things like that. Certain people don't know how to deal with things like that. And hey, to God be the glory with you. I just know
Mm-hmm.
you can't be in my circle because I don't want that kind of negative energy around me. I don't want that kind of pessimistic kind of thoughts around me. I want people
Yeah.
that, okay, there's a solution to every problem, whether it's a quick fix, long fix, or whatever fix it is. Let's get to the solution, right? And that goes with mental health. I like to work out as well. As you know, there's a
Mm-hmm.
YMCA here in Marshall. So I like to go to that. I also like to write poetry. I'm a huge
Mm.
poetry writer. So I love words. I'm a writer naturally. So I love to do that. And I'm also somebody that is music heavy. So typically when I write poetry, I have music playing. Or if
Mm-hmm.
I go for a walk, I have music playing. I just love listening to all different kinds of music. So that kind of calms me down. And I also have a strong support system as well. Although I
Yeah.
live here alone, my mother, I'm a mama's boy, so I definitely call her back in Georgia.
Yeah.
And I also call my dad, who's in New York. So I love that family type of aspect like that. But again, great segue question because now I want to know if somebody, Jenna, came up to you in the streets of Chicago, wherever you may be, whether it be an intern, a recent graduate, or maybe somebody that's our age, right? That may be a little seasoned. If they ask you, they say, "Hey, I want to do what you do. I want to be a podcaster. I want to be on the radio. I want to be a news personality or a producer." What is some kind of advice that you would give them uh, entering the industry right now, from your perspective?
Um, I would say like just do it. Like I think and I know that sounds like so corny and cliche, but um if you can't pick up your phone right now and record yourself and upload onto social media,
Mm,
like let's say just like on the low end, 3 to 4 times a week, if you can't do that for yourself, you're never going to get a job.
mm.
You're never going to get a job. Like no one is coming to find you. And that's that like the reality is like it sounds mean, okay? No one gives a shit about you. No one does. Okay? And you have to give a shit about you. That's the only person that needs to give a shit about you.
Sure,
Stop waiting for someone to come and make it happen for you. Make it happen for yourself.
without
You
question.
hold the magic and the power within your own hands to create your own destiny. If you cannot do that, if you cannot grab life, pardon my language, by the fucking balls and go
Mm,
and take it,
yeah,
it's never going to happen.
I
It's
love it.
never going to happen. So, like, with the way that technology is now and with the information we have access to, the
Mhm.
only person you have to blame for shit not happening to you is you.
Is yourself. Yeah,
But, but the beauty of that is if you know that you hold the power, oh my God, go and do it. What are you waiting for? It's not going to be
Right.
great. You're going to suck in the beginning. Like, you're going to suck. Like, it's fine. Like, I can't even listen to my first podcast anymore. It like gives me, I'm like, so bad. It's so bad. Your first podcast is going to suck. The first time you do a new workout class is going to suck. The first
Yeah.
time you try archery, you're not going to be able to hit the target. The first time you do anything new in your life, you are going to be a beginner. Allow yourself to be a beginner. Allow yourself to not know how to walk. Like, you're gonna stumble. Like, it's okay. Like I look at, like, I try to do the, like, if you expected a baby to just run right away and a baby tried to just get up and stand up and then it fell down, would you say, like, you're a fucking idiot? Like, no, you would never say that. You would
No, you
never
would.
say that shit to a child. You would say, like,
Right.
hey, get up again, keep going, like, you got
Right.
this, like, come on.
Right.
A baby is
Right.
not going to be able to run because a baby first needs to learn how to stand. And then once you
Right.
stand, you got to figure out how to walk.
Right.
And
Crawl
so
before you walk.
that's, yes. So you need to allow yourself to be a beginner and to suck. Allow yourself to suck. It is okay, but you have to keep putting in the work every single day. And if you cannot do that, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
And see, that's the thing, Jenna. You speak, listen, you speaking the gospel right now. I'm totally with you on that, okay? But people want instant success. Instant success,
Doesn't
right?
It doesn't work anymore.
It
And
doesn't.
and sorry to cut you off, but the beauty of, there's a downfall of this era of instant gratification.
Right.
And that is, people want instant gratification.
Yep.
But there is this saying, I wish I remember the creator's name on TikTok, who said, good things come fast, great things take time.
I love it.
Do you want to be good or great?
And listen, and that's cool. You know, it took me a while to get this kind of going. Even with all
That's
the
okay.
episodes that I've done, as far as that, talking to people, I'm gonna experience with a live episode coming up shortly because I want to do some specials. I want to do some different kind of episodes on here as well on my podcast, which I actually have an idea in mind that I want to talk to you about and see if there was something that we can collab on prior to me getting to this next question. Because it just actually came up in my mind. I think you would be perfect. So I don't know how much you like talking about baseball. Maybe you like talking about other sports more, but I know for me, I love to do these specials. Like I love to do NBA special before the season comes out or the NFL special before the season comes out, which I have plans to do both of those with different people. But I want to do an MLB special with you because I think it would be great for us to talk some baseball, especially with you living in such a town that has two different baseball teams that potentially could miss the playoffs. Now, obviously, I'm throwing that.
No. They will. They will. They will. I am not expecting anything from the fucking minor league team that's on the south side of Chicago. Okay, I've seen better play at a Donovan Park T-ball game. Okay, than I have with
I ain't
this
want to
team.
shit on him like that, Jenna. I ain't want to shit on him like that, but
I will.
you there.
Listen,
You there.
I love them. I love them. And because I love them, I can talk shit about them. Okay. The Cubs,
Well,
on the other hand, I mean, maybe, but like, I don't know.
yeah.
Probably not.
Well, so listen, that's an idea that I'm throwing out because I love MLB baseball, but I love the playoffs even more. I think I think it would be so dope to do a playoff special. But that's something, like I said, I want to throw that idea out there, let you think about that, and then we can circle back to that in due time. But this next question that I have for you now is this or that. Okay. So basically, what I do is I throw some things out at you, and you tell me either or, this or that. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna start it off now. Jenna, you and I have been vibing all damn podcasts. Okay. Now this first question is key. Popeyes or KFC?
Popeyes.
Okay. Now I know you got it, girl. I know you got it. That's what's up. Okay. You're off to a good start. Barbecue wing flavors: lemon pepper or barbecue?
Ugh.
Oh Lord.
I
Are
mean,
you are you are you a Buffalo person?
I'm a Buffalo person.
Okay, okay, all right.
I
That
would
that
I would prefer the barbecue, but barbecue's too sweet, I think.
okay. So you like a little spice, like a
I
little
like
kick.
spice. Yeah, I like kick.
Okay, I like Buffalo too. I ain't gonna lie
Yeah.
to you. Okay, do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Oh, bone in. Has to be bone in.
Okay. Do you like them messy or do you like them dry?
I like both, but I think I would prefer like the sauce so messy.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I want to get messy too. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Next four have to do with concerts you rather attend. So I'm gonna throw out two
Okay.
artists and you just let me know. Which
Okay.
concert would you rather go to? We talked about these two artists earlier, Luke Combs or Morgan
Mm-hmm.
Wallen.
Luke Combs.
Okay, I like that. Which concert would you rather go to? Casey Musgraves or Carrie Underwood?
Oh, I've seen both of them. Dude, dude, Carrie puts on a fucking show.
I bet.
Carrie puts on a show. And that's no
Okay.
diss to Casey, but Carrie's a freaking goddess.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Which concert would you rather go to? Would you rather see J. Cole or Lil Wayne?
Oh, Lil Wayne. I feel like I'd be like a teenager again.
I feel you on that. He do got some bangers. All them Carters
Yeah.
are bangers. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Which concert would you rather go to? Would you rather go see Zach Brown Band or Lady A?
Zach Brown band.
Okay. I like how decisive you are with
Yeah.
this. Okay. So here we go. Which player are you picking? Okay. Are you going to pick uh, Sammy Sosa or would you pick Frank Thomas?
Frank Thomas. It's not even a question.
Okay, here we go. Which player would you pick? Would you pick Jonathan Toles or Patrick Kane?
Oh, Taze. Give me Taze all day. That's my
K's
guy.
all day. Okay,
I love
okay.
Kaner, but Taze is the man.
I got you. Okay, say less. Tom Brady or Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning.
You said that reluctantly. Damn. Do you do you not like either one?
No, I like them both. They're just different, but I mean I like them both. I would rather pick Peyton.
Okay, I feel you on that. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Bowling.
Are you a good bowler?
I'm okay. I'm not great, but I'm okay.
Or do you need the bumpers? That's the most
No,
important
fuck
question.
no. No, no, no. No, I don't
Okay,
need
all right.
bumpers. I'm a grown
Then
adult.
we can actually do bowling because I
Yes.
don't bowl with nobody with no damn bumpers. I don't do that.
No.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, we too grown for that. Do you like desserts?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna throw four categories at you. You
Okay.
need to choose one of these categories you'll never eat again. You gotta get rid of one. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
First one is ice cream.
Okay.
The second one is candy.
Okay.
The third one is cookies. The
Okay.
last one is cake. Which one you getting rid of?
Candy.
I knew you'd be good. I knew you'd be good to talk to, girl. Because I would get rid of candy myself. Candy would be the one
Candy.
I would get rid of too.
Yeah. I don't need
Okay,
candy, but I need ice cream.
okay, I got you. I got you. Do you like potato chips?
I don't mind potato chips. Like if they're there, I'll eat them.
Okay, so here we go. Four categories again, same format. First one is Doritos.
Okay.
Second one is Pringles. The
Okay.
third one is Lay's. The last one is Ruffles. Which one are you getting rid of?
Doritos.
Oh, hell no. You getting rid of Doritos out of those four?
Yeah,
Are you a salt and vinegar person? Do you like salt and vinegar chips?
I do.
Yep, that explains it. That
Yeah.
explains it. I get it. It's you know what? That's okay. I still love you. It's cool. We're gonna keep it
Can't be
moving.
we can't be perfect.
We try, but we can't be. You're right. If Jenna wasn't doing media, what career would she have pursued and why?
Um, I'd probably be some type of like teacher. Like I'd
Hmm,
probably coach volleyball, I think, in some sense, or teach like English, I think, or writing. I think
wow.
something along those lines. Yeah, I some sort of area where I could teach, I think.
That's pretty cool. That's really awesome. Is there a certain grade that you would do, adolescent or elementary?
I think I'd like high school, like that,
Okay,
getting ready to be an adult kind of, I think would be nice.
that would be awesome. That would be. I love asking this next question, and that's about advice. Now, you gave advice earlier, but what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Um, I have two.
Talk to me.
Number one is from my mom. It's always mom, right? It's always mom.
It
Um,
is.
Mom always said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Okay.
And I think the lesson in that is I've learned you can ask anyone any question. It's just the way that you ask the question.
Okay.
And I think as someone who likes to ask people questions for a living, I've learned that I've been able to have some really tough conversations with people. Um, One of those, for example, is I got to interview one of the guys who played on the Astros when the year that the scandal happened. And I asked him about
Mhm.
it. And he was like one of the first people to talk publicly on the case. And I talked to him before and I was like, I don't want to throw you, I don't want to like take you by surprise, but like I won't ask it if you don't want me to, but I'd also not be doing my job if I didn't. So like, do you
Sure.
mind talking about it? And he's like, we can talk about it. And I was like, all right. That's one. So it's how you ask the question. The second one is the best piece of advice came to me at my first internship, the one that we had talked about earlier.
Yep.
And there was a man there by the name of Doug Chapman. Doug played in the NFL for I think three or four seasons with at the time it was the San Diego Chargers and then the Minnesota Vikings. He was a running back.
Hmm.
And he had brought me into his office one day and we were talking and he had asked me, like I had asked him, I was like, why are you here? Like I didn't understand why he was at this small media company online when he had been on ESPN and NBC and CBS. I was like, why
Right.
are you here?
Right.
Like you shouldn't be here. Like you're a name. And he looked at me and he goes, Jenna, I'm expendable. And I was like,
Mm.
what do you mean? And he goes, the minute my contract ends and I ask for more money, they will bring someone else in who will take my job for less than what I am.
This is very true.
And he had asked me then after this, he's like, what do you want to do with my career? And again, I was young. It was a while ago. And I think women at the time were still trying to figure out what they could do in the industry. So there weren't a
Right.
lot of examples. And so I just said, like, I just want to be a sideline reporter. And he
Mhm.
goes, well, what's going to make you different from every blonde? And there was this light bulb that went off in my head. And I was like, oh my God. He goes, Jenna, your job is to figure out what makes you not expendable. Because if you're expendable, this is how long your career is. If you are
Right.
not expendable, this is how long your career is.
Mhm.
And I think it was this like there was a light bulb of like I just again I think as a woman you have to know these things even though you don't want to talk about them, but like one day, again, TMI, I will not be the prettiest woman in the room. My tits will sag. I will not be young. I will not be pretty. I will not be peppier than the Miss USA that comes in, and I'm gonna be older. And what's gonna make someone want me around compared
Sure.
to the younger version of me? And then I realized it had to be me. I had to figure out me. So when you figure out what makes you not expendable,
Hmm.
that is what sets you apart from everyone else.
I feel it. I feel it. Now, I'm gonna give you a little bit of pushback, okay, before I
Okay.
get to this next rapid fire, because I love what you just said. I really do, and I do have a lot of men and women on this platform of this podcast, and I talk to them about it. And yes, women are viewed in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of women on here that get viewed because of how beautiful they are, how they look, and this, that, and the third. And the one thing that I told one of my former guests that was on this podcast was like, look, beauty is subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you get older, whether you get younger, whatever it is, right? It's going to be subjective. because what one person perceives as beauty, another one might not.
Yeah.
So my thing is that I feel women will always have a sense of beauty with them. Every single woman in the world, no matter what color, no matter what. But I also feel that despite the beauty that's viewed, if you wasn't good at what you do, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have what you have. You wouldn't get the backing. You wouldn't get the support. You wouldn't get anything else. So it's not just about people viewing you as this person on TV. That people see this like with broadcast stations, i.e., for example, people see people on the TV, they read the teleprompter, or they see people in front of the camera. It's like, look, that's cute and that's fine. And you're right. Yep. You're young. And yes, people call you beautiful and people say you're this and that. But if you wasn't talented, passionate, hardworking, driven, if you wasn't any of those other damn words, no matter how beautiful you are, you'd be jobless.
Correct. But I think I know a lot of people who have just leaned on that. That's
true too. And that's why I went back and said the beauty is subjective, because people do lean on that. Yeah. They do. And
very much.
To me, to a T, as a man in this industry, I find all women attractive, all colors. I find all colors of women attractive. However, the most attractive thing about women in general is not about just what they are beautiful, it's who they are and how they represent themselves. If you don't represent your last name to the fullest, or you don't represent your last name in good graces, if you can't hold a conversation, this is just me talking. If you can't hold a conversation, I think you're boring as shit, and I'm not even going to talk to you. I'm just not. I'm not going to deal with you. And it's the same way with me. Like, if I can't hold a conversation with somebody, you're going to think I'm boring. In this industry, though,
it's what makes you not expendable.
Right, is what makes you not expendable. Right. So I do love your premise. I do hear different things from different women on the guests here, but I also say, like, yo, listen, there's some people out there that just don't care about that. I would want to just sit down and have a beer with you and let's talk. Your beauty is not going to change no matter how many beers you drink, no matter how much you eat, no matter where you go, you're going to be that. Whether you put on makeup or no makeup, makeup only enhances the beauty of an individual. That's it. Right. It only enhances it. But if you have stains on your shirt, how beautiful are you? No matter how much makeup you are, that's just dirty. That stinks. You know what I mean? So that's just my opinion. But tired of going on the that's just my rant. But that's my rant for the day. But we're gonna go to rapid fire now, because we're almost to the end. Okay, so rapid fire is first thing that comes to your mind, Jenna. Okay. So here we go. Spades or dominoes?
You said spades or dominoes?
Yeah.
What's spades?
Hell no. You did not just that is a cookout game. You can't come to the cookout, you don't know how to play spades or dominoes. You ever been to a cookout? Game? Yeah.
Oh, I heard dominoes and heard pizzas. I thought spades was like a chain. That's why I asked it that way.
Okay. I got you.
the answer is dominoes. Sorry. My head was still on food.
That's okay, Jenna. I'm like, man, I can't bring them to the cookout. No, I'm just playing. It's okay. Spades or dominoes. I like that. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Okay. If you had 3 albums to listen to with no skips, what would those albums be?
John Mellencamp's Born Party in the USA or Born in the USA, Eric Church's Monster, and Taylor Swift's Folklore.
Okay. I'm with you on that. If you had 3 people to take on an exotic trip and wherever you wanted to go, who would those 3 people be and where would you go?
My cousin Terry Ann. My best friend Fran. And my friend Morgan, and we would probably go to Belize. I'd go back to Belize. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. I want to go to the Maldives. I would love to go to that. Yeah, that would be me for sure. Okay. Favorite color?
Blue and green.
Okay. Favorite alcoholic drink?
Tequila.
What kind of tequila? We talking 1800?
I like Casamigos Blanco.
Ooh, that was my next one. Okay.
Mhm.
So you pricey with your tequila. You want that
Yep.
good tequila.
I
Okay.
only like the good shit.
I feel that. I rock with you on that. Okay. Favorite game, or I should say this, favorite sport to cover.
Football,
Okay. Sport that you can play that you can dominate in.
volleyball. I'd murder
Sport that
everyone.
you can least dominate in.
Golf.
Hold on. Now that's a mystery because both sports are hand-eye coordination. You hit the ball pretty good, but
Can't keep my head down, and I'm too
oh,
impatient.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Few more of the rapid fire questions. Okay.
Okay.
If there was a game show that you could be on, what would that game show be?
Family Feud.
Hmm. If there was an event that you would like to cover, like top four, for i.e., for example, for me, Super Bowl, Olympics, national championship game football, and March Madness. What are
Hmm.
top four events that you would like to cover in your career?
The Olympics would be probably number one. I
Yep.
always wanted to be an Olympian, so I'd love to cover the Olympics.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like you gotta say Super Bowl, man, because like, how do you not want to cover a Super Bowl? Like, that's just it's a fucking national holiday.
Hmm.
Um, I'd probably a World Series,
Okay.
and then other event I'd like to cover. Um, Probably like a global phenomenon movie premiere.
Oh, okay. So
Like
something
a
like the red carpet.
yeah, like red carpet, sit down, like movie premiere, something like that. I think would be really fun.
Okay, and I'm definitely interested in the Winter Olympics too, because I just now I know that the Winter Olympics is coming to Salt Lake in
Yeah,
2034, which is
crazy.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
crazy, right? Last two of the rapid fire. Which one of these would you rather be doing? Would you rather be doing radio, podcasting, or reporter? If you had to pick one to do for the rest of your career, which one would you do?
Podcasting.
Podcasting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And last but not least, in Chicago, okay,
Hmm.
in Chicago, which of these sports would you rather go attend and watch and see? Would you rather see the Bulls or the Blackhawks?
The Blackhawks. There's nothing like a live hockey game. There's nothing like it.
Although they trash right now, the
Although they
Blackhawks.
try. No, but like there's hockey is just a different type of on the edge of your seat, man. It just really
You're right.
is.
You're right. I mean, I saw a couple Wild games here, so yep, no question about it. And the Wild is trash too. But yes, hockey for sure, no question about that. Basketball is probably my number one sport.
Hmm.
Obviously, Timberwolves are pretty good
Yeah, you
now
guys got a good
out
team.
here. Yeah, but we'll have to see what happens in the future.
Hmm.
My last question to you before we sign off: is there anything else, Jenna, that you would like to add about yourself, your journey? Before we conclude, this has been an awesome conversation. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you. No, I mean you asked I think everything, man. I just thank you for, again taking the time to have me on, and I guess anyone who's listening to this, like if you do want to do this, like just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going.
I love it. I love it. Listen, I want you to enjoy the rest of your Thursday. We will certainly be in touch. Like I said, I'll be out there next week, so I'll have to hit you up for sure.
Sounds great, Chris. Thank you again for having me on. I appreciate it.
No problem, Jenna. Take care and have a wonderful Thursday again.
You too.
Bye bye.